If you're going on a road trip, you don't just jump in the car and drive off without having some sort of direction or some sort of plan. Unless you're like my better half, who's super impulsive. Now, I'll get a lot of stick for that. Hopefully she won't watch this. I doubt she will. All of this to say, exercise and Zwifting can be much the same. There's some things that we can do to get the most out of our training, especially if we're tight on time, we've got kids to deal with, we've got other commitments, a busy work schedule. So something I've been doing more and more of recently is using structured training programs like Zwift Academy. If you've done any sort of structured training before, you'll know that it works super well for fitness, and it's really the only true way to guarantee progress. But what's really great about Zwift is it's like you're going on a road trip with thousands of other people, sharing the exact same experience with them, you're all in the same boat, and the current's flowing in the exact same direction, and you're tackling the same challenges all together. I recently completed Zwift Academy Road, and it was awesome to have such a structure and such a focus, something that's so positive with such a busy kind of home life going on, and it was nice to have that sort of routine. I also found it much easier to fit in my training, just being able to jump on the turbo trainer. Let me know if you can relate to that. But for the guys that did Zwift Academy Road with me, it was awesome, and I've got to say a big thank you for all of the support on here, in the comments below, on Strava and on Zwift. I finished 29% faster in the sprint, 20% faster on the medium segment, and 9% faster on the longer segment. So you can't say much better than that. Because of this, I'm now doing Zwift Academy Tri, and I've just completed week 1, including my first ever time using Zwift for running. I've always liked it for cycling, but I wasn't sure on the running side of things. So I wanted to go all in though and make the most out of Zwift and make the most out of my training with the short amount of time that I've got. So I decided to just go online and buy Zwift's Run Pod. It seemed actually a really decent price compared to some of the other running pods, and it came super quickly. I took my phone and I put the Run Pod on my shoe, which was super simple and easy to do. You've essentially got the main body of the Run Pod, and then you've got a clip that you put behind the laces, and then the body just clips on top and you twist it. And it connects via Bluetooth, and off I went. Being the first time I used Zwift for running, I had no idea how it sets the intensity and it sets the rest of the training program. But when you go on and you set things up, there's an option for you to put in your current fitness level, which is going to determine the intensity of the workouts. The workout itself was great, and it wasn't far off the right intensity, which I was quite surprised at. But the biggest thing for me was it's such a great distraction when you're running on a treadmill. It's nice to work through the blocks of different speeds and intensities and just ticking them off as you go. It's a really nice distraction, because we know running on the treadmill can be much like watching paint dry. And with the weather getting pretty miserable, I can see this being a really good option going forwards. You don't have to deal with the weather, and also you don't have to deal with the boredom because you've got Zwift. As for workout 1 on the bike, I did the unthinkable. I managed to sign up for an event and be on time, which is awesome because it meant that I could join a group, and that's always much more motivating for me. Surprisingly, the workout itself was a lot different to any of the Zwift Academy workouts, which was quite nice to do something different. Initially, when I looked at this, I thought it was going to be really easy because of the time spent in certain intensities, and I thought it seemed quite low intensities, but I was surprised. The entire session was based around low cadence drills. Now, I remember when I first started cycling, the thought of anything over doing 80 on the cadence was just mad fast. I thought that was just pointless spinning, couldn't really feel my legs doing very much, and I'd always naturally do a cadence of sort of 60 RPMs coming from more of a strength-based background. So doing something like 100 RPM on cadence, which is suggested in cycling, never felt right. But actually, now I'm almost the other way around. I'm all about spin to win. Over the years, I've managed to get my cycling cadence much more efficient. Cycling at 70 RPM, like the main blocks in this workout, really did bite the legs, and the heart rate wasn't too high, but it was probably higher than I would have thought. And I found myself wanting to come out of the saddle so much because I felt like I was doing such a low RPM, and it just made that resistance feel a lot more than it actually was. Or I just feel like the need and the urge to kind of spin things up a little bit to get a bit of a rest. So the workout itself definitely did what it was meant to. I could definitely feel it biting in the legs with that lower cadence. And it's crazy to think how much my cycling cadence has changed over the years. So good week banked for me. Now we've got Zwift Academy Tri Ride 2 and Run 2. Subscribe and I'll see you for that.